Thanks once again for reading the Aelita Diaries. You have reached the end of Season 3 proper. That's right, there are only 26 episodes left. Technically, 28 weeks. That's right, we're down to the final stretch. An entire series of videos that started January 17th of last year is finally at its final stretch. And over the dog days of summer, we will close out Code Lyoko's original mythology. But to get there, we have to talk about this. Final round, episode 65, the end of season 3, the last of the 13 ghosts. And unlike the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, we didn't have to wait nearly 20 years to see this train wreck end. But just like the 13th Ghost, the movie in which that concludes that series finally, way too late, it also ends terribly, just like this season does. Have you ever watched an entire season of kids' television? Entire season of any television? Where you get the sense that the villain, not the protagonist, but the villain, the bad guys, the ones trying to do all the ill-will things in the world, win. Have you watched an entire season in which the villain not just wins at the end, but wins at the beginning, wins in the middle, wins in the everything in between, where they just win outright? It's like Roman Reigns' entire title reign. He just wins regardless of everything, retains the belt. That's what Xana has done to this point, this entire season. Just win, baby. And final round is like Al Davis's ghost doing a final celebratory dance as the world lights on fire with his total victory. How bad is it? Well, it's bad. It's even worse than his victory in season 2. But at least season 2, there was a build-up to it, a thematic reason for it, an emotional payoff, pathos, everything. It was a shock. Season 3, there is no shock. There is no surprise. This is the expected ending. It's like Vince McMahon wrote it himself and forced you to watch it like the 2015 Royal Rumble. That's how bad Final Round is. It is a walking disaster of ill decisions begat into the worst ill decision. And it starts with William Dunbar finally being recruited to the team. This walking disaster, in which Yumi has warned us twice would end in said disaster, finally occurs. And why? Because things are getting a little too rough out here. Due to the events of Double Trouble last week, now they have no choice, even against Yumi's reluctance and William's attitude of treating it as easy, simple, and just simply a game is going to end up biting him in the ass in a minute. And bite the fans, the Lyoko Warriors, and this entire season in the ass, too. It's a myriad of bad decisions throughout. As William gets integrated into the team, it seems, of course from the writer's point of view, that William is a natural fit. That maybe, just maybe, this isn't a mistake. And if the season weren't so rushed and so in a hurry to finish already, maybe this wouldn't be a mistake. But no, this is season 3, where everything, and I mean everything, must go entirely wrong. Everything must be entirely rushed, not given any time, and not given any forethought. Because for some odd reason, the writing staff of this show, this entire season, this entire 13 to 14 episode run, has been hit with the idiot stick correctly and repeatedly. Only this time, the idiot stick is lit on full ass volcanic fire and it's about to burn the writers asunder. 'Cause what do the writers decide to do? Not A, anything sensible, and they don't try anything of B, anything interesting. No, they go directly with C, the linear, stupid, dumb path. And before any of you tell me this was always the plan, Lionel, there was an easier way to do this. In fact, I made an entire video on it. An entire video that I will link on the other side of the end card of this video. So that you can just see just how easy it is not to screw this entire season up. So what did they actually do? Well, the things that you don't do. The first minute that Xana attacks the core zone, it's time for the new team of 6 to mobilize. But that's the only good thing that happens here. Because William's ego, William's overconfidence in being a badass ends up costing him. Yes, I'd be remiss without talking about William's virtual form. He's due that, anyway. The color scheming is actually pretty good. He takes a page from the Cloud Strife slash Guts School of Weaponry and carries a huge ass broadsword with him, with the power to match. He looks like a Final Fantasy character, and for the first bit too, he acts like it. He acts like Titus at the beginning of Final Fantasy X, cocky and confident that everything will go right, and then it all goes wrong. Because in a blink, due to his not paying attention for 5 seconds, he gets possessed by a Skimpozoa. And thus, Code Lyoko's final sin. Its greatest sin, not only to this season, but to this entire show takes place. William is now under the control of Xana. The heel turn complete. Like I said at the top of the review, have you ever watched a season of television where if there's a hero and villain protag, that the villain wins the entire season dead out without question? If you answer that question with I haven't seen one, then let me introduce you to the first and only show to do it. Yes, if Code Lyoko Season 2's finale is a perfect period on the perfect sentence and the perfect sandwich of perfect, then Season 3 shows you the other end of the rubber band. The ultimate sandwich of failure. And it's this collective choice that blows it up. William, of course, going completely heel turn, and because his broadsword is as powerful as As Guts' sword actually is, he decimates the Leoka warriors with ease, and after doing that, decimates the core zone without the help of the monsters. This guy is a one-man walking destruction machine and takes out the core of Leoka with such ease you'd think he'd have the cheats on. Yes, an entire season of the Leoka warriors holding Sisyphus' boulder up the hill, only to, like the mythological god, get sent tumbling down the hill again. Only this time, there is no hill. Ryoko is gone. The villain has achieved total victory. But of course, because there's another season to be done, another sin must be committed. A rabbit out of the ass comes in the form of France Hopper again, pulling the Leoka warriors from the brink of defeat and giving Jeremy the notes and the research necessary to, just one episode later, through an unspecified time skip, rebuild Leoka once again to give the Warriors, yet again, another fighting chance. And this all of it, happens off screen, which is the cardinal sin. If they wanted to start season 4 with any kind of drama and pathos, have Ryoko be rebuilt in real time. Of a few episodes where Xana is creating the replicas, causing havoc around the world. Show a world in which Xana has won. But no, Season 4 won't do this. It will get better, guys. And trust me, thankfully, it does. But final round is a final pin on this crap sandwich. The final sin in a load of massive sins. A season's worth of just poor, rushed, unthought of, unmotivated, and worst of all, undramatic writing. Final round doesn't come off as a dramatic pause of the villain's ultimate victory and what are we gonna do now? It comes off as a formality, like going to a McDonald's drive-thru and picking up your food that you ordered on the mobile app before you even got into the car. It acts as just something you just do. There's no pathos, no importance. Just like the rest of the season. Nothing was ever given any cushion to be important. This entire season, I called it 13 Ghosts. Why? Because it's forgotten. The season feels transparent. And if not for William's heel turn, most Code Lyoko fans wouldn't even remember it. And Final Round is the ultimate symbol of that forgetfulness. It's the only episode outside of Sabotage that does anything of any meaning that could translate into something good. 12, 11 out of the 13 are just not. Final Round, thankfully, it's a 5 out of 6. It finally turns it around, but it doesn't correct the season's worth of mistakes. In fact, it amplifies them, which makes the 5 out of 6 painful. It's a 5 out of 6 that this season doesn't even deserve, but somehow, at the end, it gets it. And next week, for I will warn you, possibly 20 minutes, you will see me rail on this season, rail on the mistakes, and re-emphasize how easy the season could have been fixed, could have been good, despite the rush time, the lack of idea formulation. Because, unironically, there's a good idea in here, but it was not executed. And before we get to the brilliance that is season 4, we're gonna talk about it. 3 seasons are done. We've got 26 to go. Join me in a season I haven't even given the proper name to. It's finally time for season 4. It's finally time to finish something that I started a year ago. I can't believe I'm here now. See you next week, Ryoka Warriors, when we finally banish the chest of demons and finally put an end to the 13 Ghosts. Find peace, y'all.